going to look at the place value of decimals. You've probably seen a place value chart before, and we know that we have ones and tens and hundreds and thousands and so on. Well, today we're going to look a little closer at this place value chart. Here I have written the ones and the tens, and we're going to look at where decimals like 0.1 or 2/10 would fit on here. So we're thinking about if this is, we have 3 ones, we would write we have 3. And if we have 2 tens, we would write that we have 2 tens or 20, and we say that's 23. But what do we do if we have decimals in this chart? I'm going to change my ones out today for this being a 1. That's going to be the tricky part. We're not looking at the tens today. We're going to be looking at if this was 1 or this was 1, where do decimals fit on here? Well, you may know that the chart continues. Pause the video and draw on a piece of paper or a whiteboard. How would this chart show decimals like 1/10 and 2/10, or even hundredths, or even thousands? How would you draw this place value chart? Pause the video now and give it a go. Okay. Well, if this is one whole and we have ones and tens and it goes on, where would the remainder of our decimals go? Well, right here is actually where our decimal fits. We'd have 1.1 or 1.2. So we actually continue our chart to have the tenths. It has not 10 that we had here before, it's tenths, and we say tenths. It has that THS, and hundredths. So what do you think would be here? Did you say thousandths? You are correct. If you notice, this is the opposite of our other chart. Here we have ones, and here we have tens, but this is tenths. Here we have hundreds, and this is hundredths. Here we have thousands, and this is thousandths. Pause the video and talk about what the pattern is between this place value chart that we know and how the decimal place value chart works. Okay, did you notice some interesting patterns as a group? Well, now we're going to work on building. If this is one whole, how would I show tenths with base 10 blocks and fraction tiles? So I'm going to give you some tenths today and some hundredths today, and you have to build it with your base 10 blocks and your fraction tiles. So let's give it a go. Will you please build 2/10? Pause the video and build 2/10 with base 10 blocks and fraction tiles. Okay, how did you do? You may have built it 2/10 because that's 2/10 of our whole. So you could have built it this way. You could have also built it with 2/10 because that is 2/10 of our whole. And how would I write this? Well, I have 0 ones, point, that point, because sometimes we say 0.2, but this is really 2/10. 2/10, 2/10. Okay, let's try a different one. This time, I want you to build. This is going to be harder. We're going to go to hundredths. How would you build a hundredth? So we would say this is 0.01. How would I build 100th? I'm going to give you a hint. only one of these tools that we have will work today. Why? Pause the video and give it a go. Well, you may have thought, we don't have hundreds of fraction tiles, so we can't actually build it with those, but we can build it with the base 10 blocks, because if I look, if this is a whole, 1/100th of that is one of these small little pieces. So 1/100th is the same as this with our base 10 blocks. So how would you build 3/100ths? Can you do that with fraction tiles? No, we don't have 100 pieces. Can you do it with base 10 blocks? Yes. Well, you may have just pulled out 3/100ths, like that. Okay, let's put it all together today. Will you please draw 2/10ths and 3/100ths? Another way to say this would be 0.23, or as mathematicians say, 23/100ths. Please build 23/100ths with your base 10 blocks. Pause the video now. Well, I know I need 2/10ths, and I know I need 3/100ths. So to build 23/100ths, I would build this. As you go on to the video, go ahead and try some of the problems that I put on this video, building, and then see if you could add or subtract some of those hundreds.